Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo Rob Schneider is here, and Michael Bolton will perform as well. And let me tell you about tomorrow night, folks, from the movie Cider House Rules. Michael Caine, he does a great job. It's a really nice movie from the John Irving book. All the way from Oregon, Ranger the Singing Donkey. What could be more dignified than that? And the music of Christina Aguilera. Coming up later in the week, Celine Dion, Dennis Quaid, Jewel, Bob Costas, Kate Blanchett, Hank Azaria, and Beck, and Kid Inventor. So we got some good stuff this week. All right, my first guest says he's thinking about running for president as a Reform Party candidate. We invited him here tonight to see just how serious this young man is, ladies and gentlemen. He has a new book out called The America We Deserve. That sounds presidential. It'll be in store shelves by early January. Please welcome the next President of the United States, Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, so much press.
So much
press out
there. No, but you look like you're having fun with it.
I am having fun. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I think I could do a good job, but I am enjoying it.
Now, whose idea was it? Did people come to you? Did you go to people? Where did this all start?
Well, an article was written in a magazine, a real estate magazine, about a great deal I did. And the writer said, Mr. Trump, would you ever think about running for president? And I said, well, I might. And they came out with a headline, not about the deal, but that I might consider. Right. And all of a sudden, I was inundated with press. And here I sit. Here I am. I mean, in front of the legendary Jay Leno.
I mean, have you thought about it before? I mean, have you ever been elected to anything? School president, fifth grade class?
Just the president, chairman, vice president, secretary, treasurer of my own company.
But that's a dictatorship.
That's a dictatorship. I agree.
See, this is democracy.
That's true. That is a total dictatorship.
You appoint yourself.
That's exactly
Now, do you feel you'll be able to restore dignity to the office of president?
Well, I think I would be. I mean, the country's really suffered from a lack of dignity over the last number of years, and I think I would.
Everybody's making money.
That's right. Everyone's making money.
You got to admit, the economy's pretty good.
The economy has been good, and I'm one of the folks that it's been very good to. And the economy has been good, and I think the economy can stay good with the right person going in for the next 4 years.
Now, they say a job like president requires a big ego. Now, do you think... You think you can handle it?
I'm not sure my ego is big enough. That's one of the things which I can...
Really? Can I write that down?
You can write it down.
You know, I think I see the next article headline. I'm not sure. All right, make a note of that. I mean, what do you think you would do as president? I mean, you know, the president only makes $400 grand a year. That's a bad weekend in Vegas for you.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the MGM grand, a couple of drinks, boom.
I came out with something that a lot of my rich friends aren't totally in favor of, but it was a 14.25% tax on people with a net worth over $10 million. And what that does, you see, now not one of those folks clapping have a net worth over $10 million. But what that does is it pays off, virtually pays off the national debt, reduces taxes for the middle class, gets rid of the inheritance tax.
Yeah, but wait, but see...
Saves Social Security.
But it seems to me, rich people just move their money offshore. They move it somewhere. It seems like you would do more harm than good. Like, if it looked like next January that's going to happen, instead of keep my money in the United States, or if I'm one of those people, I would just move it to the Caymans or somewhere like that.
They'd actually keep it here, Jay, because the economy would be so unbelievable. There'd be nothing like it. We'd have no debt as a country, and the economy would be so unbelievable, there'd be nothing like it. So I think they'd really keep it. I'd keep my money here. I have a $700 million tax to pay, or something, if that passed. And not that I want to pay it, but again, rich save on inheritance, the country saves on Social Security, and everybody benefits.
Make Bill Gates pay the whole damn thing.
He could almost, and he could almost.
What we do is, you move in, you nationalize Microsoft, you split it up, and everything's taken care of.
Sounds like a reasonable idea.
Now, how about your personal life? You know, when you're a candidate, they look into you, they scrutinize with a fine-tooth comb. Most presidents don't have 2 ex-wives?
2 ex-wives, that's right. They could have, but they haven't. No, I was married actually to 2 wonderful women.
Yeah.
And now I've had a very good time, I'd say, over the last period of time.
It sounds like you had a hell of a time. That was a very good time.
I didn't want to use that word, but it has been one hell of a time.
Now, would your past be a problem?
I don't think so. I think nowadays it's not, and who knows? We'll see.
Well, I know you don't drink, right?
I don't drink. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I never had a cup of coffee.
Never had a cup of coffee?
I never had drugs. I don't know what drugs are in terms of that.
Wow.
But, so that's the good news. However, I have dated.
That begs the question, why?
Well, that's
I see the people going, I'm going to never had a drink. What the hell's the matter with this?
That is a little scary in itself, but I haven't.
When Joe Sixpack never had a drink, what the hell is that?
It's just something I chose. You know, I had a brother who had a big problem with alcoholism.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
And it just really, he taught me a tremendous amount. And one thing he taught me is stay away from the booze. And it was very important to me. And I've stayed away, not for any other reason. That, and I just don't like it.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I'm lucky.
Now, how about a first lady? Would you hold a massive search?
Well, you know, I'm a great believer in the institution of marriage, believe it or not, okay?
Really?
I mean, this could be the story, but I really am. I am a tremendous believer in the institution, and I think it's something that's fabulous if you get the right woman. If you get the wrong woman, it is...
Well, like if you got married in the White House, if you got married in the White House and got divorced, wouldn't she get like everything west of the Mississippi?
I don't know, she might get half the White House. No, you'd need a good prenup. You'd have to get a prenup to save the country.
How about some of the other candidates? Like now, McCain, this phony issue of his temper, which seems... I like a president.
Well, it's a big issue, but, you know, you're locked up for 5 or 6 years, and it's a pretty big issue, and it's become a big issue. I watched the other day, he was being interviewed, and the only question he got was that very question. So it has become...
Do you have a temper?
Not too much of a temper, believe it or not. No, I don't have too much
But
of a
I remember you saying in an article once, you believe in an eye for an eye.
That's true. I believe when somebody, and I was going to use a different word, but I think I can't on network television, but when somebody gets you, you want to get them. And I believe it. And, you know, maybe that makes me a bit... That's true. I've always believed it.
Disrespected. Donald Corleone.
No, but being president, you'd have to be more diplomatic.
Well, you'd be diplomatic, and you tone it down a little bit. But the fact is that, you know, I do believe in retribution.
Yeah. Well, how about, wouldn't everything you own be put in a trust? Yeah. That happened to Jimmy Carter. You know, Jimmy Carter, everything he owned went in a trust. When he went back to private life again, everything was bankrupt.
Well, the trust wasn't too big to start off with. Yeah. The fact is that everything I own would be put in trust, and I have very capable people working for me, and they'd run it, and I hope they do a good job.
Now, how about the situation with President Clinton and Monica Lewinsky? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it wasn't great. I mean, a lot of bad choices there. I mean, I don't know where these folks came from, Linda Tripp and Monica and all of the folks, Paula Jones. I've never seen anything like it, and I'm sure the president wished he'd never seen anything like it. But you have some beauties in that deal. No, the whole thing...
I'm going to put that down. Some beauties in that deal. And the eagle one.
It's a shame.
What do you think you should have done? Let's suppose, God forbid, not could ever happen, you were in that same situation.
Of course, it could never happen.
What would you have done? What should Clinton have done?
Well, he could have come clean. And you gave me that answer just before the show, so I'm very happy. Thank you. No, he could have come clean, or he should have never answered the question. But answering the question...
But you had to, because he was subpoenaed.
No, I know, but his lawyers could have fought a little bit harder. I think his lawyers did an absolutely atrocious, terrible job. So they could have fought a little bit harder, maybe not to have to answer that question. But once... I mean, it's pretty tough answering that question with your wife sitting at home. It's a tough question. Did you have an affair with this woman? And you're saying, oh, my God, can you imagine this? So your wife is home. Hillary's had a hard time of it, let's face it. This could not have been 3 years of fun for Hillary.
Oh, no. Well, how about Hillary and Rudy Giuliani in New York? What do you got there?
Well, I'm a big fan of Rudy.
Right.
He's been the greatest mayor that New York's ever had. I support Rudy because he's been a great mayor.
No New York mayor has ever gone on to higher office.
But I think Rudy will.
You think
and I like Hillary, too. I like her very much. As a person, I like her very much. But I think Rudy's been the best mayor we've ever had. The city is the hottest city in the world right now. And he's been at the helm, and I think somebody should be rewarded for that.
Now, how about Pat Buchanan? What do you think of that? Now, he seems to be the guy you'd have to battle.
Well, that's true. He's anti-Semitic. He's anti-black. He obviously has been having a love affair with Adolf Hitler in some form, and I just can't imagine this guy...
Wait, I don't want you to hold back. Give me how you feel now. I mean, you know, these coy answers.
I can't imagine, you know, that Pat is going to be very seriously taken as a candidate.
But he's smart. He's a good debater.
He's a smart guy.
He's a very bright guy.
That's perhaps he's a good debater, but he's got a lot of bad stuff out there.
Now, when will you decide for sure when you're going to run? When will that happen?
Probably in the month of February.
The month of February.
And if I decide, it'll be based on the fact that I feel in my gut, in my heart, that I can win.
Yeah.
And if I think I can win, I'll decide, and I think I do a good job. I think I'd save a lot of people a lot of grief.
Well, I appreciate the honest answers. Thanks for the straightforward answer. You can come back here and announce it.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you,
Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen. This is the book right here, The America We Deserve. Be right back with Rob